is about Sufism as a religious movement in India. It was not simply a religious movement, but it was a complex socio-cultural movement that altered the ideologies or teachings, religious teachings in India in the long run. When it comes to the sources to study Sufism, Malfuzat and Taskirat are the two important sources to study Sufism. Malfuzat are the recorded conversation of the Sufi saints and their disciples, and the Taskirat are the biographies of Sufi saints. When it comes to the origin of Sufism in general, it started in Khurasan in the 11th and 12th centuries, and from there on, it spread to different areas in Asia. The term silsila came into existence with Sufism. Silsila means tariqa, path, or chain. So it is basically a way of transmitting knowledge or messages of the Prophet, and this process continued with the Sufi saints. So there were different religious leaders after the Prophet who also continued this method of silsila to spread the teachings of Prophet and their own teachings also. This tariqa or this silsila continued, and it was used to spread the charisma of the spiritual leaders. Early history of Sufism in India can be traced back to the beginning of Turkish rule in the final decade of the 12th century. And this is time when the different ideas like Chishti and Suhrawardi started coming into existence. This is also the time when proselytization activities were happening in India. So in Kashmir, in Bengal, we see proselytization happening. Once saint Sheikh Nur al-Din Rishi was popular in Kashmir, and his mode of teaching, which includes prophecy, divinity, and cosmology, appealed to Hindus, and then they started following or started converting into Islam. And these newly converted Muslims also found higher place in the Mughal court also. Similarly, in Bengal also, we witnessed large-scale conversion in the medieval time. When it comes to the Chishti Silsila, it was very popular in North India. So one spiritual leader, Nizam al-Din Chishti, played an important role in its popularity. Nizam al-Din existed in the 14th century, and in his time there were scholars and there were political leaders who were his disciples. And two such individuals are Amir Khusro and Amir Hassan. Both of them wrote extensively to spread the teachings of Nizam al-Din. Amir Hassan recorded the conversations of Nizam al-Din. This record is called as Fuad al-Fuad. In many other literary works, Chishti Sufi orders were popularized. These texts inspired a whole series of malfuzat or conversation in the later half of the 14th century. Amir Khusro's Masnavis or long poems also made Chishti Silsila popular. Another key figure in the popularity of Chishti Silsila is Farid al-Din. He was also popularly known as Baba Farid, and he was of Khorasan descent, and he settled in the Punjab region. He set up a khanka in Ajodhan. Then in South India there was another leader called Muhammad Ghesudaraz. So all of these Chishti leaders made Chishti Silsila popular in India. When it comes to the legacy of the Chishti Sufism, one is the practice of visiting tombs of these saints and pir, and the other one is singing qawwali in the premises of these tombs. These are two important legacies of Sufi movement, Chishti Sufi movement. Other Sufi orders includes Suhrawardi. In Suhrawardi, we see some important religious leaders in the form of Bahauddin Zakaria, Jalal Tabrizi. Unlike the Chishti order, Suhrawardi order, in Suhrawardi order, the belief was that there is no harm in accepting gifts or favors from the ruling class. Besides Chishti and Suhrawardi orders, there were Qadriya, Naqshbandi, Shatari, and Nimat Tulahi. These were other religious orders that became well known in South Asia. Of these, Chishti remained quite popular, and it challenged the established Islamic norms in South Asia, and it also initiated reforms through their teachings. In conclusion, Sufism in India was not a uniform religious movement in all its forms. The goal was to consolidate Islam in India, to reform it where the religion had already grew old in those regions, and also they focused on proselytization. They used local languages like Bengali, To spread the teachings, they also used different kind of poems, hymns like Masnavi to achieve these goals. Sufism also actually unified the people in India. Basically, those who converted to Islam, they were unified by the authority of the Prophet through his biography. Sufism in India was also a part of a larger movement that was happening in Central and West Asia. So it gave a sense of unity to the Muslim across these regions.